Hey everyone, I'm Clue, and we're diving into the new card list for Outsiders for Flesh and Blood, the upcoming set. And to my surprise, there's Assassin / Ninja, which should not actually be surprising because obviously the codex that was revealed initially was a dual class card. So I assume actually we'll see another section that is Assassin Ranger and then probably a Ninja Ranger, maybe mismatch. But Assassin Ninja cards, so all these cards can be played in either of the class decks. So we have Flick Knives once per turn, which is actually legendary. So this is really good to note because it means the Assassin class has all 4 slots of legendary equipment. I don't know if any other class has all 4 slots available as legendaries. I know through generics you can, but I don't feel like they have 4 specific cards that are legendary, 1 for each slot. I might have to look that up. Once per turn, attack action, cost 0. Target dagger you control that isn't on the active chain link deals 1 damage to target hero. If damage is dealt this way, the dagger has hit, destroy the dagger. So what this means is the dagger triggers its effects, but you lose the dagger. I think this is pretty viable. You can use it twice, essentially, since you don't have any other daggers. If there's a way to regenerate your dagger, destroy Mask of Shuffling. Whenever a dagger hits this turn, you may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. You draw a card. No, it doesn't look like it. If there was some way to sort of restock daggers, that'd be really good. Flick Knife. Otherwise, two triggers. They do have decent effects. I think this makes it more worthwhile. I don't like the cost on daggers. Daggers costing 2 to strike seems really ridiculous, given the profile of those heroes. Both of them play lots of cards and therefore don't really pitch a bunch, and they all are generally on the lower brackets of damage, so you run the high damage varieties, red and yellow rather than blue, so you don't have a lot of resources to utilize on your behalf for equipment effects or weapon effects. So definitely a great card. Mask of Shifting Perspectives, we did read it. We'll read it again. Whenever a dagger hits this turn, you may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. If you do, draw a card, so it just allows you to cycle, but you'd have to destroy it. Definitely more beneficial to the Ninja than I would say the Assassin. Blade Cuff. Arms. Destroy Blade Cuff. Your dagger gains +1 damage. Go again. Yeah. Completely obsolete to Flick Knives, since Flick Knives allows you to sort of attack with your dagger instantly. Yeah. Yeah, nothing else to say. Pay 2 to gain +1 damage. Should be a bit higher. I mean, it's in line with the other weapon equipments. You can get better damage if you run cheap cards. And then, which gauntlets are? One of the gauntlets that reveals a card from your top deck and then gives +2. Okay, Stab Wound. When this hits a hero, they lose X life, where X is the number of times a dagger has hit its combat chain. Again, combo's way better with Benji, because Benji actually utilizes their weapons a lot more, right? I assume Katsu does as well. Yeah. Concealed Blade. Target Assassin or Ninja attack action card gains +1. When this hits, equip a dagger from your inventory. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, so I can already see a awesome combo coming. Obviously using Flick Knife every turn and just trying to recycle your knives. Attack reaction rights, +1. Yeah, so definitely not as hard as just getting a base attack to hit. Really good, really good. Knives Out. Your dagger gains +1 this turn. They all sort of combo with daggers? Hell, yes, I'm going to say they do. Interesting. Bleed Out. Bleed Out costs X resource points less to play, where X is the total damage you've dealt with daggers is combat chain. Okay, so I'm really curious to see how many attacks you can combo. I don't believe any of the Assassin daggers have go again, do they? No, they do actually. They just have high cost. Whereas Benji's +1. So much better. And it's very easy to get this requirement. And you only have to get once. Yeah, these cards are okay with an Assassin, but they're just fantastic with an Assassin. Sorry, I said that backwards, didn't I? These cards are okay with an Assassin, but are fantastic with a Ninja. Okay, Hurl, no, we did Bleed Out right. Yeah, costs less for the damage too, so you only have to swing twice. No, total damage dealt, not times you've attacked. So you only have to hit once or twice to make this really, really useful. Hurl. As an additional cost to play Hurl, you may pay 1. When you do, it gains when it attacks. Target dagger control deals 1 damage to target hero. If damage is dealt this way, the damage has hit. Destroy the dagger. Destroy the dagger. So on the equipment, I would say definitely necessary. On these type of cards, I wouldn't say it's too necessary, because you're limited to the amount you can actually carry. I think it would just be a good sort of benefit to the card. I mean, you're paying one anyway to get in a swing with your dagger, so it's no discount for Benji, but it is a discount for the assassin. Yeah. Still, I do like this gimmick of utilizing the daggers finally. Okay, when this hits, your next dagger attack gains +1. Pretty generic. I'm pretty sure there's some better generic cards to buff your weapon than this as well. Short and sharp. Target attack gains +1, so already it's far better than this, although it does not have the go again, but it is a reaction, so obviously you play it off an attack and doesn't need it. Or target attack action card with 2 or less, base damage gains +3. Yeah, from its utility, short and sharp is just better, because this has to hit as well. Okay, we might as well go through the Assassin and Ranger since they're nice and short. All the codexes are for the Assassin/Ranger. I guess because the Ninja doesn't have any of the token effects. We get another Mask. Mask of Malicious Manifestation. Put a card from your hand or arsenal on the bottom of your deck. Destroy Mask of Malicious Manifestation. Reveal cards from the top of your deck and you reveal an attack action card. Put it into your hand, then shuffle, go again. So it's cycling, looking for set card. It's not destroyed, so it does have some use. Toxic Tips. The next attack action card you play this turn gains when this hits. Create X token under their control. Go again. I would value this over some of the other arms, especially because it is not destroyed. Again, the buff from stuff like Blade Cuffs is not as necessary as just being able to stack up these tokens. So I'd say Toxic Tips is actually really good. Codex of Blood Rots. Any equipment that isn't destroyed, just to put this out there, any equipment that isn't destroyed after triggering its effect is already really good, because Flesh and Blood is just about utilizing your resources better than your opponent, and that includes equipment. Okay, so the codexes, I assume they all have very similar effects. Each hero puts a card from their hand face down into their arsenal. This is an attack action card from their graveyard face down to their arsenal. No, they are different. Okay, we'll go through them one by one. So each hero puts a card from their hand face down to their arsenal, both sides. Create a plunder token under your control, and a blood rot pox token under your opponent's. So you both get to stock your arsenal. Remember, you're using it on your turn, so they probably have their arsenal full, so it's pretty good. And then you also create these tokens. Damage for your opponents, and a plunder token to restock your hand before the end phase. Granted, you have a card in your arsenal now, so I would say Ranger class, a lot more beneficial than the Assassin class, since you're probably going to play the card in your arsenal before you actually end your turn and trigger the Ponder token. Although the Ponder token is the following turn, I believe, right? It might be the same. No, I don't know. I'd have to read it. It's probably down here. You know, we're near the end anyway. Where's Ponder? At the beginning of your end phase, destroy Ponder. No, so it's the same turn. You draw back up, allowing you to have extra cards to put into your arsenal. Where were we? That's generic. Okay. Codex of Frailty. Each hero puts an attack action card from their graveyard face down into their arsenal. Each hero that does discards a card, create a Ponder token under your control, and a Frailty token under your opponent's. So, attack action card from their graveyard. So you both get to recoup a card, which is really good. If they do, everyone has to discard. So it's still cycling, but I would almost say wouldn't want to use this unless it's very early on in the game, because allowing your opponent to cherry pick a card to recycle is a bit strong in Flesh and Blood. Codex of Inertia. Each hero puts the top card of the deck face down into their arsenal. Each hero that does discards a card. This is a more fair variety. Obviously, you can stock up with your arsenal, have one extra card to play at the cost of getting rid of a card. Create a Ponder token under your control and a Inertia token under your opponent. Again, I would say all of them benefit the Ranger class a bit more than the Assassin, and out of all of them, I probably utilize the Codex of Blood Rot a bit more. Again, I don't like any cards that are sort of gambling, because if your opponent has X card, you can almost trigger their win condition through Codex of Frailty. Okay, Death Touch. Death Touch can't be played from the hand. When it hits, create a Frailty, Inertia, or Blood Pox token under their control. So it has to be from your arsenal. It's a very strong card, especially for the Assassin. Definitely worth comboing with Arachne Base, so the original version. Yeah, pretty decent. Allows you to pick which token. Toxicity. The next Assassin or Ranger attack action card you play this turn. When this hits hero, they lose 5. That is massive. That is a really strong buff. Even 3 on the blue, definitely worth running. Okay, Virulent Touch can't be played from your hand, so again, it has to be played from an arsenal. So these all go in, they all tie into the codex and the general theme. So Ninja Assassin was utilizing daggers, Assassin Ranger is utilizing your arsenal. When the chain link resolves, if the touch is defended by a card from your hand, create Blood Rot Pox token under the defending hero's control. So they lose if they don't defend, and they lose something if they do defend. Definitely a really good card. Blood Rot Trap. Oh, we get some more traps. And this allows the assassin to play traps. This is really good. This shores up one of the weaknesses of the assassin, which is you generally don't have anything to defend with. So being able to stock up traps in your arsenal is really good. So when this defends, the attacking hero creates Blood Pox token, Frailty, and Inertia. Pretty self-explanatory given their names, but you can obviously defend for 3 at the cost of 0 and without losing a card from your hand. Really good, from my perspective, especially for the assassin. These 3, well, actually no, these sort of round up how many traps the Riptide has, so pretty good for both classes. Okay, what are we at? No, we'll end it there. We'll go through the generics in the next one, because I assume there's a decent amount of generics. Yeah. Okay. Pretty good. I definitely love the combos. Yeah, they probably could have gone away with Ranger, Ninja. What could they have done? Honestly, they could have had some sort of combo mechanic with arrows. So, for instance, if X card from your arsenal hit this turn, this does something. That type of combo mechanic. I think that could have played into both of them pretty decently. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.